Okay, this is the BGP lab. This is a large lab, so it will be breaking down into several videos. So this is the network that we will be using. It is a BGP network that must have several autonomous system numbers, and notice that many connections are made using serial links, and we have one Ethernet link between router 2 and 6. So let's go to action item number 1. At router 2, try injecting the route 1.1.1.0/24 into BGP. Check the BGP local RIB. Did it work and why? So let's configure BGP first, router 2, because if I wanted to check the RIB, the BGP RIB, it tells me that BGP is not active. So let's configure router BGP with the autonomous systems that belongs to router, where router 2 lives. Next, let's configure the router ID. Remember that it is advisable to configure it manually. Next, let's introduce this because I want to inject this network into my BGP realm. So let's see if that works. Let's see if the local RIB included. No, nothing here. So why didn't it work? Why? It didn't work because that route does not exist in the routing table. So if you want to inject routes into BGP with the network command, that prefix must exist in the RIB because otherwise it will not get injected into the BGP RIB. So that is why. Let's go to action item number 2. Use the network command to inject the network 10.2.0.0/24 and use the redistribute connected with the roadmap and a prefix list to inject all the networks that begin with 10.1. So let's see. So let's go to BGP mode and inject network 10.2.3.0 with mask of 24 bits. So if I check the RIB, now this one is injected because this exists in the routing table. So it is connected and it exists, and because it is connected, it is given the next hop of 0.0.0.0, and notice that the origin is set to IGP. So all the prefixes that are injected using the network command will use this code. So now let's inject all the networks that begin with 10.1. All of these will have to get injected using the redistribution command. So I'm going to create a prefix list. I don't want to inject all of the connected networks. I don't want that. I only want this subset of connected networks because I have other connected networks. And I only want those that begin with 10.1. So I'm going to create a prefix list that will be named only network 10.1. It will have a sequence of 10, and I will permit any network that whose first 16 bits are 10.1 with any mask lower equal to 2. Then I'll have to create a roadmap for the connected permit sequence 10. I will have to match the prefix list only network 10.1. So my roadmap looks like this. This is my roadmap. It permits anything that matches this prefix list, and the prefix list is this one. So let's apply that into BGP. Router BGP 6552 redistribute connected, but using a roadmap as a roadmap connected. So let's see now how the BGP table looks like. Show BGP, the RIB. So now I just injected all the routes that begin with 10.1 that goes from 32 to 63. So notice that given they are connected, they are given the next hop of 0.0.0, and the path is a question mark. That means that it's the origin code is incomplete. That will happen every time you inject a redistributed prefix. So let's continue with action item number 2. Check the LOC-RIB, notice the origin, execute the other network commands in order to add to all the 10.2. Whatever network. So I'm going to use a massive amount of network commands. Let's see if this works in one go. This is a bit funny because this is a massive amount of network commands. Oh, it ended at 53. So let's go to 53. Okay, so I am injecting all the 10.2 networks using network commands. So this is one way of doing it. It is a bit funny, but whatever. So I am injecting all of these have this code. That means that they come from the network command. Notice that they are given a weight. This weight is a CISCO BGP attribute. So it is not standard. They are not given any local preference. The metric is by default 0, which is the met. And we have this star here. That means that this entry has passed the validity checks within the RIB, the BGP RIB. So it is good. And for as far as BGP is concerned, this route is okay, and it has this greater equal symbol. That means that this route is the best. When you have several paths to the same destination, BGP will run an algorithm and will come up with the best route for a destination. So in this case, there is only one path for this destination, which is locally connected. So that is why it is the best. So you might want to see your prefixes with an star, and you want to have a best route selected for your prefixes. We can examine each prefix with detail. For instance, if we want to examine this one, we can do so. And this will give you more details about this prefix. For instance, not advertised to any peer because I have no peers yet. What else? Local preference is 100 by default. It is not shown here. It is not shown here, but if you enter the detail, you can see the local preference is 100. The metrics or met is 0. The origin is IGP. the default weight, which is a CISCO attribute, is this, and this is the best route because we only have one path for this prefix, so it is the best and it is valid. Okay, we're going to stop there and continue with the other action items in other videos.